All right, let's just jump right in. Being a student these days, it's way more than just going to class and hitting the books. It's this intense, nonstop balancing act. So today, we're going to break down the modern student survival guide. We're talking the grind, the hacks, and the real strategies you need to not just get by, but to actually come out on top. This right here, this quote from a student at the City University of New York, it says it all, doesn't it? Just stop and picture that for a second. Typing a whole college paper with your thumbs probably crammed onto a subway car. I mean, that's not some wild exaggeration. That is the day-to-day reality for so many students just trying to find a spare second for their education in the middle of all the chaos. And that brings us right to our first section, which really gets to the core of this whole thing, the modern student struggle. The grind is without a doubt real. You've got this constant shuffle between school, a job, sometimes more than one job, a crazy commute, and oh yeah, trying to have some kind of personal life. It's not even about finding balance anymore, it's just about keeping all those plates from crashing down. Now, researchers actually have a name for this whole experience, and it's called a taskscape. Just think about it like this. It's your personal reality, where every single place, your apartment, the bus, that little corner in the library, becomes a stage for like a dozen different things you have to do at once. So your commute isn't just a commute, right? It's also your reading time, your lunch break, that's your study session. And when you have that many of these taskscapes all layered on top of each other, well, they're bound to crash into one another. So when they do crash, what's the first thing to go? Yeah. For so many people, it's the most basic thing of all, sleep. This comment from a student on Reddit is just brutally honest, and you see it everywhere. Look, there are only 24 hours in a day, and when you're trying to pull off a full-time job and a full course load, sleep is pretty much always the first sacrifice. And the pressure just keeps building. The emotional weight of it all is massive. This isn't just about feeling tired anymore. This is about being stretched to your absolute limit. And this comment just shows you the raw, hidden cost of that constant grind. And this one, wow. This shows you the long-term damage. It's not just feeling sleepy. This CUNY student is saying the chronic lack of sleep literally started to mess with their brain. So the big takeaway here is that this juggling act has real, you can measure them, consequences. But if students are anything, they're resilient. So the question is, how are they fighting back? Okay, so let's flip this around. Let's move from the problem to the solutions, starting with Section 2, hacking your space. You know, if your world feels like a chaotic mess, the very first step is to reclaim a little piece of it so you can actually find your focus. So here's a really important idea from the research. There's a difference between a place and a space. A place is just a location, right? Like a library. It's got its own rules. But a space is what you make it. It's a place that you bring to life with what you're doing. So the secret isn't finding the perfect place. It's learning how to create your own personal study space, basically anywhere you go. So how do you actually do this? Well, you become a location hacker. Instead of heading to the huge, crowded main library, you find a small, quiet neighborhood branch. Or you look for places with a totally different vibe, like the Housing Works Bookstore Cafe, where everyone is kind of focused. Or, hey, just get out of the city chaos entirely and find a quiet park. The whole point is to think outside the box, to find those little nooks and crannies that you can turn into your own personal zone of productivity. Okay, so you've hacked your physical space. The next battleground, it's time. And that brings us to Section 3, mastering your time. This is all about owning your schedule instead of letting it own you. And trust me, this is one of the most powerful things in the entire student survival kit. These tips, they're straight from students who are in the trenches, and they are brilliant. It starts with a mindset shift. Every minute is valuable. A huge game changer is trying to stack all your classes into just 2 or 3 days. Think about it. That gives you whole days free for work or deep study. And you cut way down on commute time and that mental whiplash of running around. And setting personal deadlines a day early, that's your safety net for when life, does what it does. It is all about being ruthlessly efficient with your time. And let's be real, to manage all this, you probably need a digital co-pilot. An app like My Study Life is basically built for this exact kind of chaos. It brings together your class schedule, your work shifts, your assignments, and it even has tools like a Pomodoro timer to help you focus. And since it syncs across all your devices, your master plan is always right there in your pocket. But look, even with the best schedule in the world, the grind really takes a toll. And that leads us to our next, and honestly super critical section, fighting the burnout.
This isn't about being weak. It's about what happens when you try to run a marathon at a sprinter's pace. It's about protecting your own well-being.
The trick here is to be proactive, not reactive. You have to get ahead of it. So first, you have to draw a hard line between your school or work time and your personal time, even if it's just for an hour. Second, you have to actually schedule your self-care. I know it sounds silly to put watch a movie in your planner, but if you don't, it's just not going to happen. And maybe most important of all, you've got to learn your own warning signs. Do you start living off coffee? Do you start skipping that one class? When you know your signs, you can do something about it before you hit that wall. And here is a fantastic life hack that helps with your time, your money, and your health all at once: meal prep. Seriously, spending a couple of hours on a Sunday cooking for the week saves you so much time and mental energy later. It's cheaper, it's way healthier, and just having a good meal ready to go is such a powerful weapon against burnout. It is one less thing to worry about in a week that is already full of worries. All right, so let's put this all together. We've talked about the problems, we've looked at the strategies, now it's time to assemble our fifth and final section, the Student Survival Kit. This is basically your blueprint for navigating the wild world of modern education. So what does it all come down to? It's really a four-part system. Number 1, hack your space. Become the master of your environment. Number 2, master your time. Be the architect of your own schedule. 3, fight the burnout. Be the guardian of your own well-being. And 4, and this is the most important part, build your system. You know, not every single tip is going to work for every single person. The goal is to play around with these ideas and find the mix of strategies that actually fits your life. And that leaves us with one last, really big question to think about. We've seen how incredibly resourceful and tough students are. They've literally become masters of survival. But should they have to be? The real question we need to ask is, how can the universities themselves evolve? How can they become masters of support and build a system where students aren't just surviving, but are actually set up to thrive from day one?